Hello, everyone, and welcome. Luke Millard here, the CEO and founder of FunnelBundle, and we have an exciting web class today that is all about building the pages that you need in order to brand yourself, to sell products, basically to build a website that suits whatever it is your website's goals are. So there are some core components to building a website map, if you will, what pages are necessary, what's typical, and in this web class today, what we'll be covering is what are those pages, so the 5 needed pages for your basic website. We're going to cover a little bit about how you can build them and also some design tips, so getting that website to look great, which will make it more effective as well. So first off, I want to say a massive welcome to everyone here today. Thank you so much for joining us. You can comment in the chat window, and that means any questions you have, put them there in that window. Questions at the end of the call. Any questions that you might have during the call, just put them in the window, and then we cover them towards the end. So first off, I want to apologize for my internet connection. Hopefully you can hear me okay. As you guys know, if you've been on these calls before, the internet can be a little slow where I am. So hopefully I'm coming across loud and clear. So let's get started. The very first thing we need to do when designing your website is say to yourself, what is the major objective of this website? It sounds very basic, but it's really important to write down and say, what is this website designed to do? And how am I going to get my website visitors to meet that objective? And so the first goal of designing all of these pages is essentially to have your website visitors meet the objective of your website. And that, like I said, sounds very obvious, but we need to think about that the entire time that we're designing every single page on your website. How are we going to direct them or lead your website visitors so that they can take the action that, one, they want to take, but two, is exactly why you built the website in the first place. So you don't build a web page just so someone can read it and then leave. Right? So every single web page needs to have an objective, and it needs to direct your website visitors to a particular page that is either going to, get them to subscribe to your email or purchase a product or book a call or join your affiliate offer or something like that, that basically is the objective of your site. The next objective of these website pages is really to create branding and automation. So creating a website or an online presence that people can find out more about you, more about your business, more about what you offer. That's going to build a relationship. It can build some trust, and it's going to brand you as some form of authority in that area. And so they will get more information about what it is that you offer, which is in turn going to really help move them in the direction of meeting your website objectives. On top of that, we want it to be automated. We want it to be automated for you because you want to save time and energy. You don't want to be doing simple tasks that could be completely automated. And you want it to be automated for your website visitors because your website visitors need to have a great experience. The better experience that your website visitor has, the more likely they will be to purchase your product or service or book a call or subscribe to your newsletter or whatever it is, because it's going to be easier for them to find out what they want, to find the area of your website that they need, and then take the action. On top of that, it's share content with your leads. What I really like about having a website, and I think for a lot of people that might be on the fence about, do I need a website? Do I not need a website? I think one of the biggest powers about owning a website is that you can share that content with your leads. So let me give you an example. When you build a website page and you put information into it, it takes some time. You have to put some text in. Maybe you put a video in that page, or maybe it's a big write-up with some images. And so as a result, you've spent some time and energy building that web page. Once it's built, you can continue to share that with your potential leads. So whenever somebody subscribes to your newsletter, even if it's 2 years after you've created that page, you can direct them to that page. When somebody enters their information into a contact form and says, hey, can you tell me more about what you offer? You can say, yes, here's the link, go and check this out. Now, this is a preferred method that a lot of people, particularly if they're starting, aren't doing. And let me give you an example of what they are doing. So what sort of internet newbies without their own website do is maybe they write a big long email that describes the answer that they think the person wanted. Or maybe they send them to a YouTube video that has the answer. Or maybe they send them to some other website that they don't own or control to get more information. All of those really are flawed in that they take your website visitor away from you, right? Away from your website. Plus, it doesn't give that real professional, hey, here's all of the information. So as we talked about, maybe replying to somebody for a question, they've asked you a question and you're trying to give them an answer. If you just write a long email with the answer, sure, that's one way to do it. But that means you're going to be doing that over and over and over again. You can't do that with 1,000 leads, right? So what you need to do is you add this information onto your own website in a page, and then every time somebody has that question, you send them the link. Not only will they get the answer on the page, not only does that save you a lot of time and energy, but it also allows them to click around your site to see what else you offer, to subscribe to your newsletter, to maybe buy your different products. And all of that is really where you'll start to see momentum with your website, where you're constantly sending your visitors to your website via your email, via your social channels, all to this one centralized place that you're going to build your brand, you're going to create that automation, it's going to build that professionalism, and you're going to meet the objective of your website. So maybe that all sounded very obvious to you, but I wanted to give that information, that base about why it is that we build the website the way that we do, so that we have the combination of the pages that we need, the information that we need, so that website visitors, whether they found you on Google, whether you sent them there via an email or social media, they have access to the steps that you want them to take to meet the objectives. So let's talk about now, what are these 5 pages? Now, the original email I sent out was 4 pages, but I wanted to add this additional page so that we've got all 5 pages that I really try to build out in my own personal websites, and for all of the reasons that we just talked about. So first off, you can see there's quite a lot of information on this page. What we're looking at is the 5 different pages that you really must have on your website. And then beneath that, we have some points for what that page does. And then also we have a little chart there for the buttons or the call to actions. So let me just give you a quick rundown on how this works. We need a home page. The home page of your website really is the business snapshot. So the home page essentially says, hey, this is what I offer. And it needs to say it in 1 paragraph. On top of that, we have very limited attention, and so what we need to do with our homepage is not have big, long, drawn out information, but really we want it to be attractive with some bullet points, a call to action, and do the speed read test where you land on the page and you sort of scroll down through the page really quickly. Do you get a sense for your business when you do that? And so we'll go through some examples on the real website in a moment, and I'll show you exactly how that looks. On top of that, your call to actions will essentially be a learn more, or buy now, or something like that, where you'll be directing people to your services page. And so you can see that if we come straight across to number 4, typically on most businesses, your services page is your objective. So this is your services, your products. This is basically where people can see exactly what it is that you do, what you sell, and they could purchase it or book a call or whatever your objective is. So your services page, you could call it whatever you want, but it might be online store, products, services, something like that, appointments. But really, that's the objective of your website. And so all of these pages actually direct to your services page, because that's really the objective. So we have our home page that says, hey, this is a snapshot about our business. If they click on learn more, it takes them to the services page where they can find out more about exactly what it is that you offer. If they subscribe from your home page, then via your email, you'll also be sending them back to the services page about what it is that you offer. So let's talk about the services page a little bit. The services page is your offer. It might be an online store. It's going to hit heavily on the benefits of what it is that you offer. And it's probably your website objective, like we talked about. It will also have a call to action or several call to actions where they can buy now or book a call, or whatever it is that you're promoting. Join your affiliate offer. Okay, all of that would be on your services or products or what it is that you offer. So now let's talk about these other pages. These 2 pages here, page 2 and 3, are your about page and contact page. Very simple pages, but really important to have on your website. So the about page is going to give a little more information about who you are. It can be a simple, maybe something about your history, so why you're here, why you built the business, what's the mission of this, like why does this website even exist, why have you built this website, why does this business, why is it here online, why are they looking at it, why did you build it? That's really important to build into your about page. And it doesn't need to be lengthy, but it needs to be enough that somebody can identify with that and say, hey, okay, I get it. All right, now I understand why it is you guys have built this, what it is that you offer. It might also show things like accomplishments, statistics, things like that, where people can get a real sense of your company or your business or yourself if it's a personal branding site. So it tells a little bit about your story, and so it will give that, like I said, that relationship building or that branding opportunity as people navigate to find out more about what it is that you do. We also will have a call to action in that. And so from your about pages, we're going to go to our services page. At the about, there's many reasons that people will visit your about page for everything that I just mentioned, but often it will be something like they're interested in what it is that they found on your homepage, but now they really want to find out a little bit more about who you are, because you are just some person on the internet, right? And so they're trying to work out, hey, do I want to deal with this person? Is this person aligned with my mission or what it is that I'm trying to achieve? And so really your about page just gives that final information that says, hey, this is what we do, this is who I am, this is our accomplishments, this is where we've been, this is where we're headed. And it can be very powerful for that person saying, you know what, I agree, or you know what, I am going to take action. I am going to buy from this person. I am going to subscribe to their newsletter. And so from there, you'll also have a call to action, like on every single page that we have, that will allow people to maybe look at your services, or maybe it's something else like subscribe to your newsletter or something, but definitely a call to action at the bottom of your about page. The contact page, very straightforward. It's just a contact form that says, if you'd like to get in contact with us, enter your email and send us a message. Plus, it'll be your address. If you have a business address, it'll be your other contact information, maybe your phone, email, all of that is right there on your contact. Make sure this is very, very simple. It's really annoying to land on a contact form. Maybe you have hours of operations, things like that. It's all right there, front and center, very easy to find that information right there on your website. We've already talked about the services page. Let's talk about the blog or the news page. We have an entire section in FunnelBundle for learning how to blog. It's all about how you can blog for profit. And really, I would encourage you to go through that. In that training series, I talk a lot about the fact that I think a lot of people don't like the word blog. It's sort of a dated term, if you will. So I think that the way you need to look at this, or the way that I look at it, is that it's news, articles, and updates. So it's all about your business, and it's just a way to create regular content. So you might have something that is relevant for now, but not necessarily strong enough content to be your homepage, if you will. So to give you an example, there might be something, an upcoming promotion. You might put that on your blog, and then you can send people to that page and basically say, hey, this is what's coming, read about it here. It might be, something else like, new features. It could be just, some accomplishments. Maybe it's at the end of the year information, whatever it is. And you can sort of brainstorm these ideas, go through the blogging training for that. What it does is it creates this regular content of your news and updates, which is great for your SEO. It's also great for brand building. So let me give you an example of this. Search engines love regular content. They love a lot of content, and they love a lot of text. What you don't want to be doing is really packing these pages with text. So mainly just from a visual standpoint. And so your blog is really a massive engine behind your website that allows you to get a lot more traction via Google and other search engines, and also build a lot of your brand in all of these different avenues with all of these different topics. And it doesn't seem weird or unreasonable because it's all on your news and articles pages instead of just stacked within your website. So this is it's a really strong way to be able to create lots of different content with anything that you think about. Maybe there's a new video you've made, a new training series, or basically anything. It could be copies of the emails that you're sending out to your subscribers. All of that can go into your blog to help you build your SEO, to help build your brand. When someone is on your blog, they'll be able to see, some related posts, and I'll give you some examples in a moment of how it looks. But really, it's a great way to, like I say, get a lot of content out there, and also circling all the way back to helping people come and get information that you have designed that's on your website. Blog is the perfect place to do it, because you could have maybe your frequently asked questions are there, or maybe there's something else. Support articles would be hosted on your news, and so as a result, if somebody comes and asks you about something, any topic at all about your business, you can say yes, here's the information, and send them the link. That would typically be hosted on your blog, and you'll see in a moment, it just looks like a web page. So every time you create a new blog post, it looks like a web page, and essentially it just allows you to, like we've already talked about, create all of that content that's not part of your main site, but it's really helping build your brand in the background, and create, again, potentially call to actions for subscriptions, and also driving services, sales to your products and services via that SEO friendly component of your website. So I hope that all makes sense. A lot of information there. And what I'd like to do now is I'm just going to take you through a bit of a demo of how that looks in your website builder. And then we'll come back and we'll actually talk about some design elements for how you can make it look good and be attractive, because that in a lot of ways is extremely important when you want people to stick around on your website, and if you want to build your brand and create something that looks professional. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen now. Green world is what you should see. We're obviously in the FunnelBundle builder, and let me just go through this theme. So I've essentially loaded this theme. You'll see this theme within the templates if it's something that interests you, but don't focus too much on the actual design of this particular theme, because of course you can have it to suit your personal taste, but also any business or service. But the reason I wanted to load this theme is it really hits on the pages that we've talked about. We have our home page, we have an about page, we have services page, a contact us, and a blog. So this really, these typical 5 pages that really will help you build your brand. And let's just go through a little bit about what this page does. So I know we already talked about, some basics, but let's analyze it a little bit. So really we're sitting here, we've landed on this page. What do we see? First off, we have about 5 seconds, if that, to tell the person why this website is exactly what they need. So what is it that you offer that is so important on this website? This is what we need to say right here, because this is our one chance to grab that attention. It doesn't have to be lengthy. It needs to be concise, and it needs to be to the point, and it needs to hit the benefit of your website. Right underneath that, we sort of have this call to action, and we're also including an image. So this combination is really good for the very first impression of your website. And the reason is that we have some sort of bold, captivating title, plus an image that helps tell the story about what your website is, plus the call to action right at the top where website visitors can get more information. We then move down in blocks. So you can see we sort of have this top block, and then we start to move down with other blocks. What we want to do is, again, really be right to the point and say, hey, here is 3 things, or maybe it's 6 things about what we offer very quickly. And like we talked about before, we're trying to tailor to people that do this, because this is really what everyone does. When they hit a website, they land on it, they say, okay, yeah, this sounds sort of like I want, and then they start scrolling like this, and you need it to really stand out to those people. And so we do that by creating a website in blocks, making it easy to read, and then having it, a combination of imagery, titles, big titles, and then also very short grabs of information. Now, at the bottom, you can see we've got the news and updates. And so let me just talk a little bit about how these all link together. So if we just actually open this, that's what's great about the FunnelBundle Builder, of course. As soon as you've loaded the theme, you can start using the website immediately. And so, but just by clicking on that link right there, you can see this is what the website looks to the public. So as soon as you've loaded it, it'll look exactly like this. And so what we essentially want to do is have, like we talked about, have people directed to our services page without having to click on the navigation menu up here, although it is all in the navigation menu up here as well. So someone's landed on our page, and now they're reading it and they think, yeah, you know what, this does look pretty good. I do want to learn a little bit more about what this person offers. They click on learn more, and it essentially takes them to the services page, which this page is exactly what it is that you offer. So what is it that you're promoting? Do you want people to join your affiliate offer? Do you want this to be your online store packed with all of your products? Do you want this to be some type of webinar, or join a particular, or maybe just subscribe to your newsletter, or join some sort of webinar where they can get more information to sell into your funnels? So this page really needs to say, you know what, this is what we offer. So this is, our sell, okay? And you can structure it however you like, but again, we want to focus on hitting those same important points where we've got something that stands out at the top, nice, bold, captivating title. We move down into our sections that gives them the option maybe to see different products, or book a call, or read more. Okay, so we've got our call to actions here for the different services that you might provide. And you can see we've also got the ability to opt in at the bottom. Again, let's just go back to let's click on the about page. I'll show you. So at the about page, again, like we talked about, we're going to have more about, who it is we are. Maybe there's something that's really important. We can have our mission, we can have our team, and you can see how this is laid out so that the person can get this information really, really quickly. Now, maybe, again, we've got this call to action. They want to join the mission. This will take them to the services page where they can select their services. Maybe we want them to be able to just contact us or book a call with us, and then they can head across to the contact page and they could send us a message, okay? So you can see when they land on the contact page, they can send us a message right here, or they can basically find out more about, our business and come and meet us, or call us, or whatever that is as well. Over on the right, we have the blog, and this was the last page that we talked about. Now, the blog is actually made up of many different pages, every single blog post. So you can see this is the blog homepage, but right here we have a few different elements. We have our sidebar, which allows them to maybe subscribe, to look at different blog posts that we have, and to also maybe hit our services or some other call to action that you want there. If they go to any of the actual posts, you'll see it looks much like a web page. So you can design this. This could just be a big, long text, images, videos, whatever it is that you need there. But every single one of these, you can see, will have a name that you can just copy this and send to your email subscribers, or to somebody that asks a question via email or in your social media, for any information that you want. And so the combination, again, of all of this is really, if I come back to the builder, is really to create a hub that shows everything about what it is that you do, really captivating homepage that says, hey, this is why this is important, this is why you need it. We would need them to be able to learn more about who we are. We need them to be able to purchase our services or products. We need them to be able to contact us if we need, and we also need news or articles where they get up-to-date information. It keeps our website alive. Google loves it. You might get organic traffic from there, and you can really send people to those links and to those individual posts when needed. So these are the 5 pages. Now, let me just show you something that's really cool, because over on the side here, this is where you can manage your pages, of course. So these are all the pages listed here, and by clicking on any of them, you can then go and edit. Now, we know that with the editor in FunnelBundle, if you're not familiar, but it's very, very simple. You can just drag things around, change the text that you want. You can start typing whatever you want to do there. You can replace your images, of course. You can drag, your different sizes. It's all very, very easy just to customize it. Let's say that we've built our 5 pages now, and we want to then do something new. So let me just show you over here. Come to your pages, or this could be for any page that you want. Click on Add New Page, and then right here, click on Page again, and you can choose from all of the themes, or you can choose an empty page. And basically, you can add any page to your website. If I was to select an empty page, I'll just call it new and add it. Oh, let me just stay in save, sorry. And we will do that again. Add new page, empty page, and let me just add this. It may have already added the new. It did add the new, actually. So anyway, so now we've got the new page and this new page that I just added, and now we can just start dragging in our elements, or we can add a whole new block by selecting a block that we like, something like this, and it will start to generate our new page. So now that we've built our new page out, or maybe this is one of these pages if these pages didn't come in your theme, now what we can do is add it to this menu very, very easily by selecting Edit Menu. And then right here, you can see how the menu looks. You can drag the menu items around, and they will actually reshuffle at the top. You can see them changing. And you can add a new menu item by coming to your pages, home, and then you can see all of your pages listed right here. So let's say that we wanted to add page, select, it will be added right there. Click on Save Changes, and you can see it now in our top menu. Let's come back to our home page. So this is what it looks like, and you can see it's been added now. So you could click on it, and your users immediately, your site visitors, will start to see the new page that you've built. On top of that, you might want to run a new promotion in the background, like an event, for instance, and you could build an event page that isn't part of your top navigation menu, but you want people to be able to come here. You want to be able to send people here. And so what you could do is just build the page, open it up in the browser, and then copy your URL and send this to whoever you want. And then they can come and find out more about your event. While they're here on your page, on your website, they can, of course, navigate to any of these other tabs, find out more about you. They can go to your homepage. They can go to your blog. They can find out about your services. And I know that these are additional pages, but the reason I wanted to say this was because probably you have some idea in your mind about what it is that you want to promote, and maybe it doesn't completely fit into the mold. And so you can just build these separate pages and then send people to them, or you can add them to your menu at the top, or you could even add them as a sub menu. So let's say, for instance, by dragging them in like that, you could add these as a sub menu. Let's add another one, pages, event, select, and then let's drag it up underneath services like that and click on Save Changes. And now you're starting to build out your sub menu in the top. If I refresh this, where you'll start to see the whole right there, and they can navigate from your services page tab there as well. So this will start to build out your website pages, exactly everything that you need. You can just create one page at a time, then add what you want to your top navigation menu. And I would recommend, like we've already talked about, these 5 different web pages that we've already talked about there, really important. And if you are looking for a place to start by doing that. Even if you're not completely ready about all of your products and services, start by building out your main pages which will consist of your home page, your about page, your services page, your contact us page. Let's just go to the contact us page, for instance. This is drop dead simple to build. This is already in the theme, guys. So if you load this theme, it's already right here. And then you can see people can just start sending you messages. As soon as they send you a message, you'll see them up in your contact system here. You can edit all of the information about this, edit the settings. You can edit your thank you message. You can have an email notification sent to you. You can give them a tag that says, they joined, they contacted you via their contact form. You can add them to your own email autoresponder or our new email system, which is launching soon. And so this is all very easy to set up. It's already basically set up for you, and you can just modify it to suit your business ideas. So now let me just come back and let's talk a little bit about the design elements and what it is that you can do. Come back to the presentation. Let's talk a little bit about design. Okay. So I know that if you're starting a new website, that maybe this is one of the biggest elements for a lot of people. I see, there's a couple of different common mistakes that I see. And I wanted to include a bit of information about just some simple design ideas that you can start to use on your entire website that will make it look great and convert for you. So first, you need to talk or think about your content. So define the objective of the page. Very important. What is the point of this page? Because that's going to really help you design it, in that we know what we need to say, because we want people to submit in the contact form, for instance. So very simple. Okay, so we want to say things like enter your information in contact, or send us a message below, and then we'll have a button where they can enter their information. Think about why the person's there and really try and hit that and give them exactly what it is that they want. So like, for instance, with the FunnelBundle website, reach the world with the best website builder and marketing system online. So why would somebody be at FunnelBundles? Because they need to build themselves a website. And so we want to hit that, and then we want to allow them to give them exactly what they want. So let's get started, and then they can go and they can join and they can start creating their own website. Okay, so that's an example there. Also, after you've built the content for your design, I think the number one thing that you want to do is look, if you will, at your pages. Obviously, you're going to look at your pages, but really go and open them in a browser and skim through them. Imagine that you are somebody else and you're looking at those web pages, because that's going to help you make sure that they work. Okay, because I would say one of the number one things that I see is maybe something to me that doesn't look refined, is because I can tell the person hasn't taken the time to go and pretend that they are somebody else and see how it works for them. And so I'd say that when you're designing your content, that's probably one of the big takeaways. Just go back and reflect on it, or maybe even ask your spouse or your friend to look at it and see what they think about it. So then let's really get into it now, though. Symmetry, easy to read. We're going to use blocks, images. We're going to use space. We're going to use our global settings, style and consistency throughout the site, simple color text and global, and also we're going to test it. So let's go back to the website. Oh, hopefully you guys could see that. I'm sure if you guys could see, if you're looking at the website or if you're looking at the slides there, guys. Let me know if you saw those slides or not, if you can, in the chat window. But let's just talk a little bit about the design elements. So I'm going to come back to home. Hopefully you can see the website here now. And what we've got is, first off, I think let's talk about the text and headings. The first thing that I think everyone should do is come across to your global styling. By coming to your global styling, it will style all of this text for you, and it will make sure that everything looks and feels the same throughout your entire website. So let's just click on global styling over here, and right here you can look at your text styling, your fonts, your colors. So let's start with colors. Primary color is going to be in all of these major spots within any of the theme. So by changing your primary color, you'll see it update throughout your website in all of these major areas. This is basically your primary highlight color. And so let's just say that we want it to be blue, or you could make it green. But that's first thing that we want to do is make sure that we have that consistency. We can set our main background color, and we can set our main text color. I recommend that your main text color is this color right here. So 1 in from black, that's the color that I always use for my main text color. And I always have my main background color as white. You can always colorize each box if you need, but if you set your main background color as white, I think that's a really good start. These two colors, very neutral. It'll work with every website, and then you can just hit your different highlight colors if you want. Now let's confirm that, and let's go and have a look at our text. Global styling, text styling. Text styling, you can set all of your text fonts and your paragraph text. I recommend, in my personal opinion, I like to set my headings as one font. So you click to edit and choose the different font that you want. I like to set my headings as one font and my text or paragraph text right here as another font. You can see they are different right here. And so I recommend that you do something similar to that. You can also change the text styling for your mobile view right as well. And it's really important to as well, because what you can do is you can set the text font size a little bit smaller in your mobile. You can see it changing there. And what that will do is it'll allow it to come down a little bit in your mobile view, because that, because it's a smaller device. So I like to do that as well. Then if we come back, I'll confirm that. And I'll just open it up again. If you come back to your main website, what I'd like to do is choose your font size right here. So this, I'll bring it down a little bit, maybe whatever it is, make it 60. Your spacing, your line height, and your text color. I like to do all of that from within global styling for every single one. 16, I'll actually prefer 15 there, and the text color is fine. And then line height, I prefer just down to about 1.5. And then we save it. Now, by doing so, we can basically go through our website and just update any text to whatever that tag was. So let me give you an example. This right here, if we make it over here, you can see the style. If we make it header 1, it'll bring it up to exactly what we set in the global styling. So now it's essentially brought it up to 60 with a color of that. And if we set this to the normal, you'll see it will basically be whatever we set there. So what I like to do is think about, okay, well, maybe this isn't a H1 actually anyway, because it's, it's more of a heading 3, for instance. And what it'll do is it'll set that really nicely for you. And if something doesn't start to look right, if something looks a bit weird, what you can do is always, if you click on it, select it all, and then you can clear the styles, and then you can set the new styling for what you want, which is header 2, and then now that will be fixed like that. It's really good to get in the rhythm of just using your global styling sizes for your text, because then it will translate really well into your mobile view, because all of those styles are already set. So when you come to mobile, it will already look really good. And also you can it saves a lot of time and energy, because you don't have to reset every single one. You're not always playing around with it. You just make sure, hey, this is normal text, and now it's set. So that's really easy. On top of that, let's talk a little bit now. We've talked about text. Let's talk about a couple of just sections and columns. What you don't want to do really is have text that goes all the way across the page like that. It doesn't look really good. So it's better to actually compress your text over onto one side, or have it in the center, and try and sort of make it look a little neater, and play around with maybe some of that padding size so that it looks nice. You also want to keep your color scheme together. So this sort of looks good because it's all together. But typically I don't color text. Typically I would have this as all white. Let me just the styles there. And then foreground color, white. Normally I'd have it all white. It did look quite good with those color highlights, but I like to have it all the one color. And I like to keep my text colors very, very simple. So let me give you one example of a different text color that I might do. I do all of my text colors in that one off dark black, like we talked about. So when you come to your foreground color, this is what I do all of my text colors with the exception of my subtext. Sometimes I bring my subtext down to a lighter gray or a medium gray, which is this center gray right here. You'll see this all in your builder. And I like this sort of slight contrast. I think that that slight contrast just gives it a little something extra when you're reading it. It gives you that title and then also the sub information there. On top of the text, you can see the use of just slightly different colors with your blocks. So you can see that this top block has an image, which is great. Then we have a white background on this block, and then it comes down and gives a little bit of color. So as you scroll down, you start to see these very slight separations with very minimal change in color throughout your block. So the way that you would do that is you come to your block, and again, you can just set your background color. This is just has no color there, so that's your website background color that you can see. But you can just change it to have, whatever color it is that you want. And what I like to do, if I just go back to this one, what I like to do is alternate colors, as you can see here. That makes it just stand out a little bit. It says, yes, this is a different section to this one. On top of that, I like to use spacing. I think spacing is really important. So let me just give you an example here. You can see the 16 pixel space here. It's very easy to add padding to any element. I don't think you want it to be too wide, but you definitely don't want it to look like this. I think crushing it up like that really doesn't, it's not very visually appealing. So I like to bring it about in between 20 and 30 pixels apart. If it's text, I do about 20. And if it's difference in elements, I like to do 30. Now, I also like to do the same thing between blocks. So I don't like this being pressed against too much to that text. You can drag the entire block down and give it that extra space between the different blocks as well. Again, you can see right here, does that look good or does it look a little bit untidy? To me, it looks a bit untidy. I'd be more inclined to actually bring that text up into one paragraph and make that sort of look neat, but then I don't like it pressed up against the header here. So think about your spacing, try and space it out so that it looks nice. It's so easy to space everything out, so it's definitely worth doing that. Let's look at something like this where we're separated into multiple columns. So this block is separated into multiple columns. It's very easy to do so. You can see by clicking here, then you can break it up into columns, however many columns you want. This will destroy the design for the moment, but let's say I bring it back to one column. You'll see it stacks everything on top of each other for that column. If we go to 3 columns, you see it breaks it up into 3 columns. 5, it breaks up into 5 columns, and then you can start to drag different elements between those columns. Now that's essentially what's happened here. We've dragged it into 3 different areas. And when you're doing something like that, make sure everything is aligned. So we want to make sure that all of this is the same. You can see the percentage changes. And so as you're doing that, make sure that that is the same as the next one and same as you pad off the top. So if this is 6 or 8 pixels or 7 pixels down, then bring this one 7 pixels down so that everything really matches up from side to side, vertically and horizontally. I think that a lot of what I see in websites that maybe don't have appealing designs is lack of padding, things like that, where it just doesn't look nice because everything's bunched up to each other. Also, not using your different columns, so everything sort of stretches out across, so it's nice to actually contain a lot of the information. Not having the same amount of information in areas like this. So let's say that this one looks like this. To me, that really doesn't look good. So when you're doing something like your bullet points, make sure that if I'm going to do 4 lines of text here, I'm going to do 4 lines of text on every single one. And you might have to work hard to sort of create that amount of text for that particular by rewording and thinking about what it is that you're writing. But it's definitely worth it, because even though you might think, oh, it doesn't look too bad, when you're just scrolling this website, when somebody arrives on this website, they're going to get that first impression. And what does that first impression tell them? You know, how does that look? It doesn't look great, right? Even if you think it's not a massive problem, the eye identifies it really quickly, and then you just get that sense of this isn't professional, or this isn't built correctly. And so definitely want to pay attention to those smaller details like that. Now, let me just come back and have a quick look at where we're up to. So consistency of style, simple colors, text and global colors, symmetry, easy to read, use of images, blocks, and space. So we've covered most of it. I think that with any website, really try and think about what colors you're going to use and stick with them. Let me just give you a really basic overview of how I basically build all of my sites. Is I choose a key color that I'm going to use. Typically, it's some form of blue. Blue is a great neutral color that also looks good and people trust it. It's more of a trusting color. Red is more of an aggressive color. Green is sort of more of a calm color. Yellow is sort of more of a fun color. So you got to think about what are these colors telling the person that's on my website. Blue's great. It's a great one for business. Then, so I choose blue and I choose my text colors like we've already talked about. So I have my just one off black, so very dark gray. I might also have that medium gray that we added to one of these elements down here somewhere. Oh, this one here. So that medium gray, just to give that contrast between the two different texts. Then I choose my background color, which will be white. Then I choose just off white for my section color. So something like this, where it's just off that white, just that slight gray to give that break in between the two colors. Then I might have one other color that is probably the blue color, and that's that global styling color. You can see this footer is black. I think that's quite a nice look in the black, but I'll leave that up to you. That's the maximum. One other thing, sorry, actually is white. So the contrasting on a dark color, but that's the maximum that I would use. I would use my primary color that I'm going to use. Then I like to use my text colors, my white, and my just off white. If you keep to those neutrals, I think that it really does make your website look good. You don't want to go too crazy with your colors. I don't like full background color. I like it in more of that white. I think you'll agree that it gives that yes, that cleaner, fresher look. And so something to consider when you're building out yours. You can do the same thing with your blog. Try and keep it pretty neutral, pretty white. I think you're not going to offend anyone if it's white. If you decide that you want your website to be black with red writing, then people are going to leave. And if you want to really, maybe you're going to get some people that say, you know what, I love black and red. And so then they're going to be there and they're going to love your website. But for most people, they're not going to really appreciate it. So really try and keep it as clean as you can, and pay attention to the fact that these global settings are a great way for you to do all of that. Because by doing it all here, by setting all of your different styles right here in global settings, then what that will do, particularly with your color palette and your text settings, what it will do is all of your pages will now look like that. And so you get that consistency throughout your entire website. On top of that, let's have a quick little look here. I think images like this. So in the image background, very simple to edit your images, upload any image you like. In the training, you'll see where you can get royalty-free images, download all of them, any image that you want, of course, and you can add it in. I think doing so really gives that extra element as well. So don't underestimate the power of putting imagery in, because it really does tell that 1,000 words. It gives that very quick, particularly if we come back to the homepage. Green world, there's a plant growing. I mean, it's just such a perfect example of, hey, this represents us. This represents our brand and what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Like if you're, let's give you another example. If you're a fitness studio then, or a yoga studio, you might have an image of people getting fit, of course, someone that's really fit. If you're doing make money online, maybe it's a stack of Bitcoins, okay? Whatever it is, you want to have that visual representation as soon as somebody lands on the page, because they want to read the bold, captivating title that says, hey, this is what our website's about. And then they want to be able to identify that immediately with an image that also says that same story. By doing that, you're going to, one, save yourself a lot of text because you don't have to explain so much if it's already in an image, and two, it makes it look great. I'm sure you'll agree that the image definitely makes it look a lot better than no image. So definitely worth looking into that. So I think that's getting close to the end of everything in let me come back to the slides. I'll stop sharing. And hopefully you can see the slides again, guys. So let me know if you can't see the slides right now, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to see the slides. And basically, it's a bit of a recap here. What we're trying to do is design the 5 pages that are needed. So if you haven't already, go and build these 5 pages out. It's worth setting them up. It's going to help build your brand. You're going to be able to send people there. And if you spend a little bit of time on your design and creating those elements that look great, then people are going to appreciate it, and they're going to be more interactive with your website, and they're going to be more likely to deal with you. The first impression really does last on your website, and you really have seconds in order to do it. Make sure that all of your pages link together with that one purpose of why it is that you have this website in the first place. So everything's going to be, in this case, going to be sent to your services or products or store or subscribe or whatever it is that you have as your core purpose for your website. All of those should be linking there through your buttons. And then, of course, have your blog, start writing. Doesn't matter what it is, start generating some news and some updates about what it is that you're doing in your business, and send that out to your subscribers as well. Then, of course, spend some time on the design element of it. This is probably the longest amount of time that I spend doing anything, is dragging elements around and trying to make them look nice. It's really important, in my opinion, and definitely worth spending a little bit of time on. If I just come back, I'm just going to just show you again. And you can ask any questions, guys. If you have any questions there, you can start putting them in the window. Let me just share this again. I just wanted to show you there that all of these buttons, it's very easy to link by clicking on the button, edit the link, and then you can just choose from your pages. You can send it anywhere. This might be an affiliate link. You could put your affiliate link in, but you can just come to your pages, select the page, and then come and you say, okay, I want them to go to my contact us page or my services page. Select it, save it, and then that's loaded, ready to go. Of course, we haven't tested it yet, but you need to test it as soon as you've built it. Click on the link. It's ready to share. That's one of the beauties with FunnelBundle. And you can just see now, if they click on Learn More, it goes to the services page because we just added that as the link. They can find out more information about that, and then they might want to book a call. I'm not sure if that's set, but they might want to book a call or something like that. So now on top of that, let's just talk a little bit about I just want to show you one other thing. There's 2 other parts that I think are really nice, and that is right here for each container. A sort of new, fresh way of building websites is by going full width with the container. And so by going full width, you'll see it spreads everything out, and you can easily drag. Let me just get it in and pad in. So you can see the percentage changing there, 5, 6, 7, like that. And so you can pad that in, and you could do the same from the other side. And basically, I think that is sort of a newer way, or a fresher way. I can drag this across, of building websites these days, is to use that full width. If this was a landing page, a really nice other trick here is, on top of going full width, you can go full height. And so if going full height will basically have everything above the fold with that one block. So when people land on this is great for building landing pages, is when people land on your homepage or whatever page it is, they just get this above the fold information. Makes it look quite impressive and big and fresh, in my opinion. So that's definitely something worth playing around with there. And also animations. So let's just click on any element and you can animate it. So click on the little play and delay there, and you can either delay an element or you can just select a animation. Let's say that let's fade it in from the left so it looks a little, you can see it sort of drags in like that. And you can do the same thing with absolutely every element. So let's have this one just fade in. And then also, I don't like to go too crazy with animations. I like just a couple of small animations like that. Let me show you. I'll refresh it. And you'll see how it animates. It's nothing too crazy, but it just gives it that little something that's moving. You can also see the animation there on hover. So you can set that for all of your buttons. These little things, once you've built your core base of pages, it's nice to go back and start to think about, what do I want to add that just adds that little something. Again, don't go too crazy. Actually, I don't want to animate that. If you go to the edit button, sorry, the edit styling there on the button, then down the bottom, you can see all of the different options. But right down here at the bottom is the hover effect. And so you might do something like grow and it'll pop up a little bit, or you can fade it in when they hover on it. You can also change the hover color. So let's say it goes to white and the hover text goes to the one off black there. And let's save that and I'll show you what it looks like. So these are little things that I like to do that when people are on your website, it just gives it that little something extra. It looks and feels like it's a professional website. And so you can see it just changes there to a different color when you hover it. Then when they click on it, of course, they'd go to whatever link you've put in that particular button. Let's head back. Any other design elements I can think of here? At any time, you can add a whole new block just by clicking on a new block, or you can add in any widget over here. There's a couple of cool new widgets that we've got, like an accordion. This is great for creating your FAQs or other questions. Very easy to drag in. Entire new blocks. So add a block, and then you can choose from anything that we've got here. So maybe it's just an extra text that you want to add, or maybe it's text and image, or maybe it's some of the hero elements. So you can just drag any of these things in and it'll plop it right there. So very, very easy. Another thing, let me just show you, is that if you've designed something that you're really happy with and you say, you know what, this top section, I want this on another page, and I've spent a lot of time to make it look great. I've done all of my animations and all of my colors and everything. I've saved it and I say, okay, this is a really good element. Any of the elements you can copy. So click on copy and you'll see copied elements added right here. And so now if we go to another page, let me just show you on any page. Not the blog, actually. It's exactly the wrong page. Sorry. Let me just go to another page here and choose the Contact Us page. So once you're on any page, at any time, you can drag in any of your copied elements. So let's say that we decided, hey, we want that copied element at the top of this page as well. It doesn't make sense in this example, but I'm just trying to show you. Drag that container in, and it will completely enter that entire container into the new page. So a really easy way to start using elements that you might have built on a page that you want on another page. It could be the same even for a contact form. Maybe I've spent a bit of time on this contact form. I've edited all my settings. I've written my thank you message. I've got all of this set up, and I've done my design. My button design's done, and it looks great. So again, copy that form. You can take it to any other page. Let's go to the About page, and you can just drag that form in, and it will just plonk it right there. So you can do that with all of your elements. A really good way to work hard on one page first, and then use that information or that design for other pages. I do that all of the time, guys, because I think you'll find that if you spend a lot of time just working on your About page or your home page, for instance, then what will happen is you'll learn a lot about it by designing your home page, and you think, okay, now I've worked I spent hours building this. And so then you can sort of borrow a lot of the elements and say, you know what, I want something similar to this on my services page. So I've already written all about my different services. So then copy the block and then drag across into your services page, and it saves you a lot of time. It'll be identical. All of the animations will be in place. All of the styling will be in place. So that's a really good way just to save a bit of time for particular blocks when you're building them out. Well, I think that might be it. Let me come back to the slides again for you. And I think that's it, guys. So hopefully that was helpful. I like building these types of videos because there's a lot to learn about building a website, but once it's built, and it can generate you income over and over and over and over and over again. And I know that you know that, and that's why you're here with us today. So thanks for joining us. But I want to encourage you to really stick with it, because FunnelBundle, this builder, and what we have planned to come, it really can build a absolutely astonishing website that you can build entire online stores, promote your different affiliate products, build funnels for other people. It does, soon we'll be launching the email system. So you won't need to use any other email system provider. If you're using GetResponse, Aweber, anything, you can use that. It'll be included with FunnelBundle, the new system, so you can drop those other providers and save you money there as well. And so there's a lot of value coming, and I think we've priced it really well that anyone can build a great website and get access to all of that. So I think I'm really proud of what this system offers, and I really believe that if you take the time to build your website the way that we've talked about today and create those 5 different pages and start building that brand, start blogging, start doing your design elements so that it looks good. If you take the time to do that, then you're going to start to see those results. And it's people that look constantly for their shortcut, and they try and avoid that one step, that they can constantly struggle because they're constantly chasing that next thing instead of thinking about, well, what is it that I'm building for my own personal asset? So what is it that I need to build my business? And your website is the number one thing. And so I really do encourage you. I know you're here. I know you already understand that, right? So that's why you're watching this video right now. But really, I really do encourage you to spend some time and build it. It doesn't take that much when you dive in. We've got all of the training there. And if you build these pages, you can start sharing them. It actually saves time. And I know that for a fact. I know that when you're dealing with people in your social media accounts, on your email list, if you constantly have to reply to them and give them the information, spoon-fed one step after another, you get nowhere. Maybe you can do that with 5 people. Maybe you can even do it with 20 people. You can't do it with 1,000 people. And if you really want to succeed in your online business and website, you need to be dealing with thousands of people. And so only dealing with thousands of people will you start to see those numbers of conversions be something that is enough for you to live on and to build your dream business, and that actually sustains your own life so that you can pay your bills with it, put food on the table with it. All of that comes from a dedication to creating your own assets, and your website is that asset. So I can't recommend it strongly enough. I know that I own FunnelBundle, but the reason I built it was because I learned that lesson a long time ago from promoting other people's products, and then everything falling apart and losing all of that time and effort and energy. It was just gone overnight. And so I really had to reassess what I needed to work on. And these 5 pages was what I was constantly working on. That offer of service. What is it, the objective of my website? That can always change. Your website objective might change from time to time. That doesn't matter though, because you're building that branding website. You've got your own personal domain there. People can come there. They can learn about you. Now, if you want to change the content from time to time, great. But that asset's building. The SEO is building. Those people can find you from Google. All of that is being added into your own website that you're building that asset. So, there's a lot of power there. So I'd really encourage you, like I said, to get into it, guys, and build. I know you already are, but I did want to hit on that. So sorry, let me just have a little look about in the chat window here. Okay, so Arnie, thanks, Arnie. Yeah, it's my pleasure to share this with you guys. So I hope that it does help, and I hope it serves you well to get out there and build Build your own website. Peter, I'm unclear what IO means in a website address. So IO is the same as .com or .net. It's just a different domain. So we use IO. IO is kind of like a tech domain. So instead of .com, we have IO. Now you can connect your own domain very, very easily. So you don't have to use IO at the end. So FunnelBundle.io. It's what we use so that you can immediately start using your website. So as soon as you start, at any time, you can come to settings and then come to your domains right here. And the first thing you can do is just edit the domain, change system domain, and type anything right here. And what that will do is then your website will just be that. I'll just put it as Luke's2 change, and you'll see the entire website will update with a new domain that will be lukes2.funnelbundle.io. Now, I think that what you might be talking about is trying to remove the .io, and you can remove .funnelbundle.io. There's no additional charge for that. You can just set your own domain by click on connect your own domain. And if you've purchased a domain from something like Namecheap or GoDaddy, then you can just quickly connect your domain right here. There's videos in the training library for how to connect your domain. If you use Namecheap, it's very, very easy. The tutorials are right there. So you could have yourname.com and then connect it, and then everything will automatically update. So instead of saying this, Luke-3 at .funnelbundle, it will say whatever domain you've just connected, and that could be a .com, .net, whatever it is, dot anything. And you'll see all of those options actually when you look to purchase your domains. So hopefully that helps. Building your own domain or connecting your own domain, I would consider it to be one of the very first things that you should do. I would say get on FunnelBundle, build your website. The build is fantastic for just creating something that is beautiful and effective. And we've just talked about the websites today, but of course you can build all of the funnels, sales funnels that drive visitors to something and really create huge amounts of automation. And there's a lot of power there. That's for a different day, that topic. But build these pages and connect your own domain. If you do that, then people are going to come. To give you an example, it would be greenworld.com, and there would be www.greenworld.com. You can click on this at any time. It'll be updated with your new domain. Follow those videos, and then you really have that branding website for yourself. And so, for instance, to give you a couple of different examples that I had when I was promoting various services, I had workwithluke.com. I had lukestrainingsystem.com. So it's very generic, and basically they were all about different affiliate offers that I was promoting. Now, of course, we have funnelbundle.io. I have some other domains as well. And so depending on what it is that you're promoting, you might want to have a generic style domain, or you might want to have a very specific domain. So if there's something that you really will never change, so like greenworld.com would be greenworld.com, but maybe it could be something else that is more generic that you might want to promote Greenworld and another business and another business. So you'll have to think a little bit about what domain you want. Maybe you already have an idea what it is that you would like in your mind. But I'll say that that's probably one of the first steps. It's just like I explained there, connect your domain and then build those 5 website pages, because that's it's the very first step in branding yourself and creating your online business. Okay, so that's about it, guys, unless you have any other questions. I don't see any other questions here. So I want to thank you all for joining me here today, and hopefully you got some value out of this presentation. I will also add this as a video recording soon. I'll send that out tomorrow, so that if you have any other questions, or you want to go over this again, or you want to share it with your teams, you can do that, and it will be uploaded in a place that you can do it. So look, that's it again. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. If you have any suggestions or topics that you would like covered, make sure you reach out to us via the live chat and let us know what it is that you want to learn, and we'll be happy to cover them in these webinars. That's it again. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one.